A very good morning and welcome to Global Morning, another interesting and exciting edition of the program. It's a weekend edition of the program. It's not too serious. We are here to make you feel happy, relaxed, and have all the great and right information for us. And my name is Ubongo, so I'm welcoming you to the program. And as usual, guess who is back? Ta-da! Nadia Yakubu is back. It's so good to have you back.
And same here.
We are getting so. Let me keep it to myself. Well, how did you do this to me? You just left me like that.
I'm sorry, my love.
We are national TV.
So very good morning to all our viewers, wherever you're watching from. How is Sunday going? I hope you're safe.
I hope you enjoyed your holiday.
Yes, I did.
Right.
But something terrible happened that I don't want to talk about. So, how is it going out there? Hope you're safe. If yes, congratulations. How are you coping with the economy of Nigeria? So?
Right, we really needed to talk about that. It's crazy because lots, people's earnings have not really significantly increased, right? But the cost of living has skyrocketed, right? Places where I used to do transportation for 500 naira, you now do it for 800 naira, right? So
very painful.
Sachet water, for instance, unless I'm not even talking about bottled water, sachet water, which I'm talking about things ordinary Nigerians say, sachet water that used to be a bag for 250 is now 500. So you think of families that depend on some of these things. How are they coping? How are they surviving? It's quite crazy.
So here's another segment of Global Morning Weekend Edition. I'm saying welcome. So we'll talk about business much more later. But then
I know you are a businesswoman.
You're also a businessman.
Right.
Yeah.
It's all right.
So I want to talk about politics a bit. What happened at Ibadan yesterday?
Right, yeah. That was a lot of persons. I didn't see it coming. Right, I didn't see it coming. I knew there were talks at a point. They went to David Mark's house, to Rakiri faction of the PDP. But I'm seeing a more formidable opposition. And the opposition is now realizing that if you have to give Tinubu, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, a run for his money, you have to be more formidable. Because they tried it in 2023, being divided. Atiku ran on the PDP, Peter Obi ran on Labour Party, Kwankwaso ran on NNPP, and it didn't do them any good.
Yeah,
right. So I think they've realized that now. And as painful as it is, if they want to stand any chance of clinching Nigeria's presidency, they have to come together. And I think they've looked at the maths. That for instance, somebody like Peter Obi got 6.1 million votes in the last election. Atiku got 6.7 million votes. Kwankwaso got 1.2 million votes. And if you total that vote, it is more than the 8 million votes that was gotten by our president-elect. And I think they've understood that, and that is what they are now trying to galvanize that energy. But the thing is, do they still have as much leverage as they had in 2020? Those are questions that would be answered. But I think it's a great place because none of us wants a one-party system, right? We want a multi-party democracy. And it's also good because to keep the government on their toes, right? The government now knows that this is serious, right? It's not just you say something is happening, and they have decided they are going to use a consensus candidate. So whoever they decide on as a consensus, they will all support. But the other thing is, because we've seen conventions like this, we've seen communiques like this. Just for clarity's sake, there was one at Delta State. When the PDP governors, as it then were before in 2022, had a meeting in Delta and came out with a communique. That's the PDP governors from the south. All of the south, southwest, southeast. They had a meeting. Ifeanyi Okowa was still governor of Delta State, and he came out, and Ifeanyi Okowa was the one that read the communique. I still remember. They said that they will only support a southern candidate. That was in 2022. They had a meeting, they agreed on that. But what happened? when they went to PDP National Convention, Atiku was not from the South. Ifeanyi Okowa, who was the one who read that communique, ran as vice presidential candidate to Atiku. Right? So politicians will always be politicians. It's a good way. We do not, for me, I do not really take them 100%, but it's a good thing because we've seen them say things and not do it. But if they can say it and keep to it, it will be a great one for our democracy.
All right, so yesterday was World Malaria Day. What do you have to say about World Malaria Day? You know, malaria drugs now in Nigeria, you don't even know which is real and which is fake. Because we have so many fake drugs out there. Someone will be treating malaria for like a month, 2 months, 3 months upward. You go to the hospitals, they give you bill, they run tests, and then give you some drugs. You still take them and not get better. And then yesterday was World Malaria Day.
Right, I think for that there are many reasons. Malaria is one of the most killer, deadly disease in sub-Saharan Africa and in the global south. We talk about Malaysia, parts of Asia, Africa, and some other places like that. Malaria has taken countless lives, especially in the rural communities when access to medication is quite very high. But the good news is that there are countries that have defeated malaria, right? Totally, they do not have malaria.
Sorry for cutting you short. Let me ask a question before I forget. Is Nigeria among the countries?
No, we've not. Right. But we've made progress. If we are more intentional, maybe we could, right? So I'm just saying that so that we know that these things malaria can be driven out totally. So what are the risk factors? I remember in social studies class, health education, they taught us, cut the grasses, these, do not keep down water. All of those things are things that could be, but we need a more holistic measure. Then talking about the exposure, the risk factor is too high for some persons. That's why you see them, it seems like it comes every time. Because when you are beaten by a female Anopheles mosquito, not just any mosquito, the female Anopheles mosquito is the one that carries the malaria parasite. Right. When you are beaten by it, it gets into your bloodstream. And if your immune system cannot fight it, it will manifest, the symptoms will come. So if you are constantly being exposed to where we have these female Anopheles mosquitoes, you'll be beaten and you will come down with the symptoms of malaria. So we need a more cosmopolitan measure to be able. We can do it. It's not rocket science. It's just that some of these things, when it comes to Nigeria, it looks as if we are going to the moon, because at least that it's difficult to go to the moon. You need a lot. You need to have a functional space agency. You need, but these things are not. It's just like electricity. We don't still have constant power supply. Is this something that cannot? People have done it all over the world, even in Africa. Rwanda have done it. South Africa have done it. How did they do it? Right? Even Cameroon have done it. Let me not use the words I have. Cameroon have done it. Cameroon, yeah.
All right, so let's just quickly rush into the newspaper review so that we'll tell our viewers what's really happening on the
All right, so let's check the paper. So Sadia will be helping us to run us with the papers. The first paper we are taking.
Yes, we take the first paper when we come back from this break.
All right, so let's go for a break. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Wake up with Global Morning, your daily guide to what's happening and making the rounds.
We delve into headlines, newspaper reviews, spot-on analysis, policies, current events, real talk, real issues that affect us all.
From the latest trends to the debates, every topic, every angle, Global Morning is where it all starts.
Global Morning,
For the latest issues,
always on point.
watch Global Morning Monday to Friday at 7 a.m. Saturday and Sunday at 8 a.m. on Global Television.
So welcome back to the program, and this is when we get to look at the papers. What are the papers saying on a Sunday morning? All right, so
our first paper for today is Sunday Telegraph, and our lead story 2027 at Ibadan Summit, 13 parties agreed to field single candidate as Atiku's ambition threatens coalition. Parties want INEC chairman sacked. Mark alleges loss of confidence. Ex-Vice President will be all the silence. Makinde decries one-party state plot.
okay, so other stories. Yes, Fubara tax control. Lawmakers face return hurdle. Wike can't decide state governors. Amechi ally is on page 3 of the newspaper.
And the next reason, insecurity, fresh concerns over surge across Nigeria, 350 killed, 1,117 abducted in first quarter of 2026. Security co-CEO, why we are afraid of giving information to security agents by Zamfara residents. Edo, Sokoto, Northeast Central struggles.
Okay, so Borno APC stakeholders endorse Tinubu Shetima for 2027. On page 6.
All right, and next story, INEC recognizes Gabon-led SDP NWC, that is National Working Committee, uploads names on websites, and that's on page 6 of Sunday Telegraph.
All right, brain drain, poor funding, crippling health sector. Washington is on page 28 of the newspaper.
All right, last story from Sunday Telegraph this wonderful Sunday morning. Middle East conflict. Our raw materials trapped on high seas. MAN Farmer. That's on page 4.
Nasarawa 2027, ex-Nasani boss insists on primaries despite Wadada's endorsements by Governor Sule.
All right, so moving on next is a Sunday Punch.
Okay, let's take the Punch newspaper. Sunday edition. I'll take the lead story. It says political bigwigs unite as APC mocks consensus plan. Atiku, Obi, Makinde, and Mechi. Mark mobilizes 14 parties against Tinubu. Alliance illusional, doomed by personal presidential ambition. ruling party.
Panic over abducted redeemed CAC pastors' families.
ADC Kwankwaso Obi rally northern leaders against Atiku.
Xenophobia, Nigerian Islam, federal government's weak response hails Ghana's action, and that's on page 7.
Federal government registers 3,613 refugees as asylum seekers, rise by 322.
Delta man hires gang to kidnap benefactor.
How law school posting made Christian lawyer embrace hijab. It's on page, okay, one of the stories that you have on the newspaper this morning.
So moving on, next is the Nation newspaper, Sunday edition.
Okay, so let's take the Nation newspaper. The lead story says 2027 Makinde under fire over Operation Weighty remark.
All right.
Yeah, opposition moves single candidate against Tinubu. Fragmented opportunistic alliance doomed to fail. I think let me just say something about this Makinde's Operation Weighty. Operation Weighty was in the Second Republic, where Nigeria had a major political crisis image, where, as it were at that time, the people of the eastern region, as it was called, and the southwestern region, had political disagreements that led to a lot of. It wasn't. I don't want to use the words on air. It wasn't palatable. It led to loss of lives and properties. So Makinde is saying that if the ruling party does not, allow free and fair election, Nigeria may experience Operation Weighty. Has caused a lot of uproar. People are saying we don't want Operation Weighty in Nigeria. It was something that happened at the time, and it wasn't good. We need a political system where people can aspire, people can have differences. If anybody wins, the other person will support the government. We do not have to always fight government, right? I understand that there are different stakes, but we just need a free and fair system that people can present their manifesto and all of that and do things differently. Because if you look at all of the persons in the front line now, Makinde is governor, Atiku is former vice president, Turaki is a former minister, David Mark is a former senate president, Rahul Arebeshola is a former governor. They've all been in power in one way or the other. How did they better the lots of Nigerians? Those are questions Nigerians will ask. The ones who are in power now, how are they bettering the lots of Nigerians? So they've all had opportunity. Those now and those who want to come back. Because if we had a way, right? Nigerians should also the kind of attention, as I'm speaking to those of us who cover political bits, and Nigerians generally now, that we put on these guys, can we also put the kind of attention to emerging guys that we've not tested before? Yeah. Those, people like Showere, people like, there's a guy who came on my program, he says he wants to be president of Nigeria and something. We'll put those kind of attention on them too, right? Because if we've seen you and Nigerians, maybe it wasn't really, it's left for Nigerians to decide. Yeah. And the ones that are here, Nigerians, let them, for those who have not had opportunity before, right? So.
But do you think they will be given such opportunity? That's the question.
Because attention is gotten in Nigeria primarily by money and fame. Let's not deceive ourselves. We know how this country works. It's attention is gotten by money and fame. Yeah. If I come here today and say, I'm the best, I was trained in Harvard, I want to be president of Nigeria, who just look at you and say,
you don't know what you're doing.
Don't know what you're doing. Even the people that you are doing, if you just tell them they're expecting you to drop something, and at the end of the day, you've not dropped it, they just you want to be president. Right. So it's money. So, and we know that these ones now, they have money in the opposition because they've been there for a long time. The ones who are in the ruling party too, they have some money. So what happens to those who are not in the mainstream ADC, PDP, whatever, but they have plans for Nigeria? How do we get them to, harness those plans for the betterment of the country. Because let's start asking these people, what plans do they have? It's not just about saying let's take over, because we saw this with the APC. We say let's take over. They took over. Have they fixed power? No. Have they fixed? So these are things that we could ask. Is it just about taking over? I'm the new president, or is it about delivering service? And I think this time has come for Nigerians to look at politicians in the face and ask them the right questions.
All right, so let's move on to the next news paper because of time, I guess.
Okay, so let's take the next newspaper now.
All right.
That will be the Sunday Times.
Sunday Times, and the lead story is 2027. Opposition parties to field sole candidate against Tinubu. Demand release of El-Rufai Malami to participate in election process. ADC opposition bunch of noisemakers presidency.
this is quite very harsh, right? This is quite very harsh. Looking at and saying noisemakers. And I know if they too were in power, that's the same thing they would say. Right? So there's something they say aura for aura, moi for moi, and all of that. So they are giving themselves bass together. But yeah, I think it's good for our democracy. ADC. They've asked for the release of Najriya Rufai Malami, who
participate in the election process.
People will ask, what of other persons? Are they the only persons who are? Let's not be selective. We need a country that is fair. We need a country that is. Let's see if the court grants them, bail before that time. Fine and good, right? But this is where we are.
Alright, so the next story. Soludo offers automatic employment to 37 first-class graduates.
Right, this is for me a very wonderful news.
That's a very good news.
Yes,
congratulations to the 37 working-class people.
Right.
And the next story, Jonathan's record remains visible, cannot be redefined. Yuguda.
Right, Yuguda saved under Jonathan, so you expect that. We've also seen people like what's his name, Reuben Abati, who's also spoken in high confidence about Jonathan, because you saw that interview where Alhaji Atiku Abubakar said Goodluck Jonathan is a young man who lacks experience, and some Nigerians felt, why will you, a former president, a former deputy governor, a former vice president, he lacks experience? Isn't now me that?
How was he able to manage the position?
Yes, he has a PhD. His PhD is not honorary PhD. He read for it. He got a master's degree, finished first year,
due process,
got a PhD, and you say he's inexperienced. How about?
I don't think there's something here. He that has experience. So let me just
all right. So Soludo offers employment. Yeah, I think it's good. It will encourage persons, to read, to study, to want to get involved in the system. So because this is good. We've seen situations where graduates are given 10,000 naira for being best graduating student, and it doesn't offer much of encouragement. I think this is a good one.
All right, so the last story from us today. Gunmen kill traditional ruler, wife, 2 others in Benue. Please.
Okay, that's the last story that we're taking.
I think there is one story. There is one story. Army dismantles.
Right, IPOB, ESN, Stronghold. That's a good one.
Yeah. Remember those couple died 2022.
Right.
And they were on their way to Imo and Ambara, and they were killed. So 4 years later, they were able to discover their remains.
Sorry.
As at yesterday. Anyways, that's
right. Okay, so let's go for a short break, and when we come back, our conversations continue. Please stay with us.
Wake up with Global Morning, your daily guide to what's happening and making the rounds.
We delve into headlines, newspaper reviews, spot-on analysis, policies, current events, real talk, real issues that affect us all.
From the latest trends to the debates, every topic, every angle, Global Morning is where it all starts.
Global Morning,
For the latest issues,
always on point.
watch Global Morning Monday to Friday at 7 a.m., Saturday and Sunday at 8 a.m. on Global Television.
In an age of breaking news, you need a trusted source that prioritizes accurate, factual, and unbiased reporting. This is AM News, and I am Ubong Usoro.
On Global Television, our news is rooted in verified and authoritative storytelling that keeps you educated, informed, and enlightened on all the issues that matter to you. I am Sadia Yakubu. This is Midday News.
You can trust a multi-platform news broadcast, real-time and fast-check stories for all the big local and foreign headlines round the clock. I am Ramsey Enoch Agbo. This is News Express.
Our array of anchors delivers the news to our teeming viewers, breaking it down with context and perspective. This is News Cycle on Global Television. I am Anieti Patrick.
And the flagship news is your hub for the day's most engaging stories. This is News Prime, and I am Jumai Manson.
Did you miss any of our news rounds? No worries. Catch up at 10 p.m. and midnight, 7 days of the week. I am Mukhtar Kasim.
Global TV is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. We're active across all social media platforms at Global TV NG.
Global TV News, accurate and unbiased. I'm Uyi Agmofwebe.
At Witchtech Cables, we don't just make cables, we deliver excellence. Our products are built with advanced technology, trusted for their unmatched quality and durability. With a wide range of cables, swift delivery, and continuous innovation, we stay ahead of the market demand. We are proudly Nigerian, fully indigenous, yet world-class. Backed by a professional team, strong technical support, and a deep commitment to customer satisfaction. Witchtech Cables is more than a brand, it's a promise. Witchtech Cables, quality cables better than the best.
At Aerogym Shoe Factory, excellence starts from the ground up. Located at number 1 Pound Road behind Nigeria Correctional Service, Aba, Abia State. We produce 1,500 high-quality shoes every single day. Paramilitary shoes, safety boots, desert boots, ankle shoes, back-to-school footwear. All crafted with
All right, so welcome back to the program. Today we'll be speaking about public service as we speak to a woman. But before she, joins us on the program, we just want to, highlight more on the World Malaria Day that was celebrated yesterday. Yeah. So because this is something that we all have experienced, and sometimes we feel, oh, it's just malaria. But people are dying. There are persons who cannot afford medication. As so those of us who can afford, you could feel like we are not saying the truth. Just like saying, while growing up, you were told that there are people who don't have food to eat.
Yes.
And some of us may not have really understood, but it is true. There are people who do not know where their next meal is coming from.
Yeah.
And it's no fault of theirs. Sometimes they've been displaced from homes. They lack, So tell us about how, in your thoughts, how malaria has been, very devastating to Nigeria.
I think before I say anything, I would like us to play a report by Kabir Hassan, the one he did on Malaria Day yesterday, and then we'll hear what the pharmacists said, if I'm correct. They call him pharmacists,
public health expert.
All right, so public health expert, what he said. So we just call for this report, play it, you listen, and then I come back and say something.
All right, no problem. So stay with us.
Malaria remains one of the leading causes of illness and death in Nigeria, particularly among children and pregnant women. Despite ongoing awareness campaigns and interventions, the disease continued to pose a major public health challenge. Speaking to Global TV News, Pam Umar Waziri, a public health consultant, stressed the importance of awareness and prevention in tackling the disease.
World Malaria Day is celebrated at the 25th of April every year. A day we normally create an awareness on how to treat and prevent malaria. Malaria is a life-threatening disease that is spread through the bite of an infected female Anopheles mosquito, which is most found in the tropical countries. Globally, it has been recorded that there were an estimated 482 million cases and 610 deaths caused by malaria. Nigeria carries one of the highest burden in the world, about 24% of global cases and over 30% of death. And it affects mostly pregnant women and children under the age of 5.
He says simple preventive measures such as the use of insecticide, treated mosquito nets, proper environmental sanitation, and early treatment can significantly reduce the burden of malaria.
The most common signs and symptoms of malaria are fever, which is accompanied by chills and shivering, like cold-like symptoms, headache, nausea and vomiting. And in children, there may be loss of appetite and also feeling fatigue. Let's make sure our children are vaccinated. Let's make sure children are sleeping under an insecticide-treated net. Let's clear our surroundings by observing good personal hygiene and environmental hygiene.
He also called on government and relevant stakeholders to strengthen the healthcare system and ensure access to affordable malaria treatment across the country.
As we celebrate the World Malaria Day, experts say malaria is both preventable and treatable. Yet, it continues to pose a serious health threat across Nigeria. But they assure that increase in awareness and consistent preventive measures remain a key to reducing its impacts. Kabir Hassan,
Global TV News.
All right, so welcome back, Sadia.
So welcome back on that report break. Let me just put it like that. So we've heard what Kabir said and what the health specialist said as well. All right, there are measures to prevent all these malaria saga. Like you stated earlier, we got grasses that's around our houses. We clear them. Make sure we don't leave water exposed. Don't drink contaminated water, right? Use well-treated mosquito nets. You don't sleep like that without using mosquito nets, all right? So if you try all these measures and then you're still having recurring malaria, that means something is wrong somewhere.
Right.
Talk about that's where the fake drugs comes in. Because you don't know which is real and which is fake.
Right.
All right. So when you keep taking drugs, keep taking these particular tablets for malaria, and it keeps reoccurring, something is wrong somewhere.
Yeah, I think that's why it also calls for proper medical examination.
Sure, yeah.
Because some persons could have symptoms that are not malaria.
Yeah.
Yes. It could have fever, it could have, once, especially in Africa, in Nigeria, once somebody say, these are my symptoms, people who are not even medically inclined.
They tell you it's malaria, then they start telling you to take our traditional herbal medicine,
right.
what the Yorubas call agbo. You start taking those ones that, yes, that's, you're treating malaria, whereas it's not malaria. I think someone died of such, should I call it negligence? All right. He had kidney problem, and then he kept treating malaria. If the sign comes up, he says it's malaria. He either runs to a nearby pharmacy to buy malaria and typhoid drugs, or he goes for local, the agbo I made mention of earlier. So it got to a point where those drugs he was taking no longer, the body no longer picks the drugs again. So at that point, he was forced to go to the hospital. And then he went to the first hospital, they ran tests, the other one said it's malaria, and then they gave him prescriptions for malaria drugs. He bought, started taking. At the time moment, they had to take him to another hospital where they finally found out that he had liver problem, and he couldn't, how would I put it, he couldn't cope. He just had to give up. He died there. So for me, if you have reoccurring malaria symptoms, it's advisable you go to the hospital for general checkup. All right, it's not everything or every sign that it's a malaria and typhoid signs. There are some malaria and typhoid signs that just like this other guy that I just gave the story now, that died of liver problem. So you can just go to the hospital. Let the doctors, let the health practitioners, let them verify that, this is a typhoid and malaria issue or not. It's not a malaria and typhoid. Let them tell you what's happening. Run tests. All right, but then if you're asking people to go for tests, are they affordable?
Right.
That's another question. You're telling me to go to the hospital. For me, that someone that I hardly earn, let's say, 10,000 or I earn 20,000 per day, per month, and then I go to the hospital, I go to government hospital, they'll just, they will even ask you, what's wrong with you? I'm in the hospital for you to check me and tell me what's happening, what's wrong with me, but you would ask me what's wrong with me. So what do you expect me to say? That aside, talking about the treatment, they will then give you tablets that are less affordable. That's if you're even lucky to have those medications there, that if you have those drugs there. Because some of our healthcare centers these days, they don't have have all these drugs there. All right, so you go to hospitals, you see dilapidated hospitals, facilities, you see everywhere scattered, density for a hospital, where you're telling people to keep their own environment clean. But then that same hospital is very rough, very dirty. If you see some beds, you can't even lay on it.
Right.
You prefer to even let them just discharge you and then you go your way. But then the proper treatment is not there. All right. If the government hospitals are not favorable, you say, okay, let me go to the private hospital. You go to the private hospital, and then that's where they give you bill. High bill. And that's where you get affordable and good treatment. But then the cost is very high. So how can a normal, let me say a middle class, will I use that word, a middle class or average Nigeria, how can he or she afford money for such treatment? You go to private hospitals, they'll tell you the test, you would have to run tests for maybe 20,000. All right, I only have 50,000. You're running test of 20,000. Before you do, I'll buy I'll buy a card. And the whole process is frustrating. And at the end of the day, they'll give me tablets and tell me I'm to pay 100 plus. How do I get that money? So some people, after thinking about all the whole process, they will rather go for traditional medicine as an option, whereas it's also dangerous.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Adia Yakubu. We, as a people, we have to do better as we hope to see a more robust healthcare system. But let's go for a short break now, and when we're back, we get to speak to our guest about public service and how we could have more women in that sector. Stay with us.
Wake up with Global Morning, your daily guide to what's happening and making the rounds.
We delve into headlines, newspaper reviews, spot-on analysis, policies, current events, real talk, real issues that affect us all.
From the latest trends to the debate, every topic, every angle, Global Morning is where it all starts.
Global Morning,
For the latest issues,
always on point.
watch Global Morning Monday to Friday at 7 a.m., Saturday and Sunday at 8 a.m. on Global Television.
Our language, our vibrant culture and colorful tradition, our industrious and hospitable people. This is Nigeria, a nation that prides itself in abundant human and natural resources. From east to west, north to south, we sparkle, we shine, we have a common bond. Fellow Nigerians, let's do away with ethnic, religious and regional sentiments that divide us as a people. God has blessed us and empowered us to find strength in diversity. Let's make our faith and way of worship our source of unity as we build a nation that stays united. Nigeria, together today, together always. This is a public announcement brought to you by Global Television.
Right, so welcome back to the program. It's still the weekend edition of Global Morning, where we learn, we speak about trending political and social, cultural issues. We have all of this information on the program. We have joining us now to help make sense of our discussion about public service empowering women for national development. We have Ajia Rabi Usman Tedman, who is Executive Director, Contact and Mobilization, Focus Africa International Women Forum. Thank you so much, ma'am, for coming on our program.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
All right. So,
can I help you out? My name is Umar Rabi Tedman.
Thank you so much.
Mrs. Yes, thank you.
Okay, so we'll talk about women and the critical role women play in public service. How important is women participation in our economy, in our nationhood?
Okay, I will start by saying that women, as we all know, are mothers, wives, daughters. Women are the basic or foundation of development of any country or society. As parents and women, we hold the position and the role of guiding in the house, within the family. You guide, you build, you train, you birth. So I think the roles are enormous to me.
But we've not really seen, maybe in an elected position, we've not really seen as much women in Nigeria over the time. We've not had a woman governor yet. There are over deputy governors in Lagos, Akwa Ibom, and a few other places.
Yes, that is true, but I think and hope that someday, sometime, women will lead, but particularly because the women are not given the opportunity to lead, and that is, for me, I think it is not fair. But women have the opportunity, they have the talent. There are women out there that are really talented and could lead. Just that what I come to realize is that the men, what is it, male-dominant society anyway. But I think if women were to be allowed to be in the position of leadership, there's nothing stopping them from performing excellently.
Right, so you talked about being allowed, but if we look at the last census we had, it's a long time ago. Yes. But we know that women, we have more women in Nigeria, according to that census. And I like to believe that that's the progression. Now we have more women, meaning that if they support themselves, they would. Is there a problem of women supporting women? Do we have those kind of problems in Nigeria?
Yes, we do. Because there are factors that mitigates and does not allow the women to be in positions. These factors are that the male are dominant. There's this cultural belief that women are not to be heard or seen. They should operate behind the scene. I don't believe that. Women are strong supporters of any operation you can give them. That is, even at the home front, women are the ones in charge. They assume leadership roles right from home. Women are subjected to the background, sometimes because of cultural reasons, but those or religious ones, just like where I come from the north, we believe that women are just to be behind the scene at home. But with the current development all over the world, we have countries like Tanzania, where a woman, Samia, is the head of government. Other countries are there that exist in Africa, but that's the only African country that I have seen and researched on, that is Tanzania. Other ones are in Europe, Asia. Women are in leadership role. What we want to do is that these women of Nigeria or Africa should be encouraged, and women should stand up for themselves and make themselves available, because out there we have so many qualified women that can assume such roles in parliament and other spheres of life.
All right, so we've talked about this. Let's look at in our society. One of the roles that we've seen women play has been that the tools of production majorly run by women. Women are so involved in a production process.
Yes.
How can we have women, how do we get women to be supported to put this production in large scale? Because what I've noticed is that it seems the work they do is in small scale. If you go to the markets, crayfish seller, this, but when it comes to the bigger, production circle, you rarely see women. So how do we expand this reach so it's not just small scale?
Okay, that's where the my organization, the African Focus African Women, basically its mission is to uplift women, empower them, give them the technical know-how, and that can be done through trainings and then supports from other bodies like the NGOs or the international bodies can help in training women so that they can be upgraded from the level of just being market sellers, crayfish sellers, and then to be upgraded to the level of governance. And then why that is ongoing, you can have women also can be supported also by our male counterparts, women in politics, women that are already established. They could help in such areas so that women will be encouraged, and such women, we have talented women, but all they need to do is just a little push for them to be out there, and they'll be able to excel in whatever field of endeavor.
All right, so you talked about Focus. I'd like to know, what is the Focus Africa International Women Forum about, and how does it operate?
It operates in the sense that mainly its mission is to bring out the difference, that is the gender disparity that exists within the community. They are out there to train women, empower them, so that at least they can be able to bring out their talents and be able to participate in whatever level and spheres they find themselves.
All right, so walk us through some kind of success story or some kind of empowerments that the Focus Africa Women International have done, and what are the real life impacts that you've seen from this kind of empowerment?
Basically, the existence of the forum, the body is already operating in about 29 countries of the world, and in Africa, all over, in Europe, and then in Nigeria. We are trying to see that the Focus African Women brings out a lot of our women in leadership role, encouraging them, and then recognizing them and their inputs so far, what they've done to uplift or to transgress beyond what we are in Nigeria and Africa.
So one of the major challenges that we've seen over time to women involvement in national life has been economic disparity. There seem to be more economically advantaged men than women. How do we bridge that divide, and how was it created in your mind?
It was created right from the, from the traditional olden days, from ancient times. Women are just, a lot of women, like I said, with this present day, like where I come from the north, women are now coming up, education-wise. Our parents are allowing women to, you can even check on records now, you can see women doing well. Women are in offices, they hold important offices like ministers in the parliament, though the number of women are yet to be what I think it should be. But with time, with the push that the African Focus Forum, we will, I think and believe that we'll have more women in various leadership roles, even down to the economic level. Once the forum takes off, like we want to inaugurate our own district of it in Africa and in Nigeria. I think a lot of women will benefit.
All right. So this problem of having this disparity, is it just a Nigerian problem, or because you call the group is called Focus Africa? So when you look, is it like an African-wide problem, or is it just a Nigerian problem, or is it greater in Nigeria than other places?
It is an African-wide problem, but the case study of Nigeria is what we are talking about here. In Nigeria, the number of women in parliamentary offices, or both political, elective and appointive, is nothing to write home about. And we are here to say and talk to the male counterpart that at least they should support women. They should support us so that we can have a balance.
Let's look at government. How about government being intentional in your assessment to putting women? I've seen different policies over time. Now we have the 35% affirmative action. There's a special seats bill that if the constitutional amendment passes may come into effect, although a lot of people also oppose, and I've seen a few women also oppose that. Let's talk about how the government has been bringing in women to lead the country.
Well, in that regards, we will say they've been, from what it used to be anyway, a lot of women have been in positions, but I think we could do more. More women should be, allowed to participate in running of the government, because women have this potential of leadership they can do. Since a woman can, run a home successfully, I don't see any reason why a woman should not be there. Though the men are the ones really our problems. I won't say a problem, but they are the ones that we will look at, because women, there are a lot of criteria and issues. And these criteria says that they use money, as a tool, because women are not really empowered. So, and politics is very, very capital intensive. So, and the woman is just there because without money you cannot. That is in Nigeria case study, but other countries, I don't think that is what obtains.
All right. So, some persons will even say a few women that were part, have they done better?
Yes, they have done. To me, if I was asked, you understand, to rate them, they have done well. We have a lot of women, like the likes of Aisha Ismail. Remember, she was once a minister. The likes of Haneye, they've done very well. A lot of them, like Zainab Shamsuna, the former Minister of Finance, Zainab Maina, they've all been there and they did very well. So I think if more women are encouraged and put in positions, they will do well. That's what I feel.
All right. So I like us that we talk about the place of partnership. Because you've talked about, we need the men, but are you reaching out, your Focus Africa women? Are you reaching out to the male folks? How are you trying to build this partnership? Because I don't think the women can do it alone, or even the men can do it alone. We need partnership. So how are you building that partnership?
We are really building that partnership because right now, the government of Nigeria is partnering with us, with the Secretary to Government, being on top of the matter. He's the one who lies in between the Focus Africa. And then to tell you that we don't operate alone. The government of Nigeria is part of our programs and activities. So in that way, I think it is an encouraging step for once. The government is really involved and is supporting the program.
All right. So you say that the government has been a supporter of women?
Yes.
Okay. We'll talk about women of your age. Is quite understandable. You've had relevant experience, or you could. But what happens to those women, those girls? They are not yet women. Those girls that are out of school. We see them quite a lot. Those ones who are given out into marriage at very young age. How does it affect our society at the end of the day?
Of course it will, because like I said earlier on, that women are home builders. they are already governors, or they are already leaders in their home. And at this point, if we now say the girl child to say is not educated, it will affect them adversely from that level. So we are trying, especially in the African Forum, to see that such issues are being tackled by empowering their parents, you understand, giving them tools, training them and retraining them, and then that way they will be able, to now bring up their children, send them to school, and then give them trainings. That way, those problems should be at least controlled or maintained.
All right. So because we see, especially in rural communities, a lot of girls do not have access to school. They have to trek for miles to get to school, and some of them cannot go. I've interacted with persons who, I'm not saying English is supposed to be, but some of them you cannot even pass messages, and we are living in a very developed society now, and it raises concerns, and it seems more women, because like you've mentioned, they could be limited in means of production, how they are able to be rated in the society, and our society seems to be very class conscious, and the class, the women class. But I'd like to ask now, do you think there's an intentional approach by the elite to subjugate the population or some persons? Because maybe if they have more women, if they have more Nigerians who are interested, are educated, to be difficult, people will now demand more accountability.
In that case, I think, like you said, in the rural communities, a lot of programs are being put in place by the government, I know. But the implementation is the problem. And like I said, Focus Africa Women is on top of the matter. They've been doing a lot of programs, you understand, to alleviate such problems right from the rural areas. Communities are being taken care of. They are provided, technical know-how, that is by providing them maybe the basics of what they need at the rural level. Everybody cannot be in the city though, but once these communities are developed or are provided with the basic implementations or amenities like water, roads, education, schools, at least they will be able to at least reduce the level of illiteracy at that level, especially for the girl child. That way, I think it will help.
So, let's talk about how you are reaching out, of course, Africa, reaching out to other countries in Africa. What has the response been? Do you have joint programs with other countries?
Yes, the response is very great because we interact. It's like networking. We network among the African countries, and we do a lot of exchange programs, seminars, trainings. We do that a lot, and then we network, and then a lot of us, we do trainings and conferences. We compare what obtains in my country or other countries, so that at the end of the day, we come up with a solution or one voice, so that the other less privileged African countries will benefit from such programs.
Okay, we talk about Africa, and some persons who will look at Africa are not very happy that the country seems not to have grown so far, or the continent rather. Yes. And what are the reasons why Africa seems to be stagnated when you look at the growth indices, comparing it with other continents of the world?
I think it has to do with the beginning of our colonial masters, I would say. They made us to believe that we cannot develop by ourselves, except if they come to rule us, or indirectly or directly. But as it is, the leadership head, I think it has to do with our leaders. If our leaders are really proactive, I don't see any reason why we shouldn't progress, or we shouldn't move forward, or we shouldn't develop. these are the reasons why we should, change the narratives. That is it. We should try to take our destinies into our hands so that we can from there move on. And we have a lot of talented men and women that can, move our continent forward. All we need is to, integrate and then work together.
All right, so I'd like to ask this one now. We've seen that, we've always known that women are teachers. The first teacher you have practically are your parents, yes, but the moms will do more of the teaching. With the constant lack of value that we're seeing in our society, the depressments that we see in our society, the way people, a lot of absurdity that we see in our society, are women failing in that responsibility of being teachers? Or is it that the children they teach are no longer listening to them?
It's not that the women are failing. We are in the 21st century and there are a lot of things like your phone now, you understand. A lot of, what will I say? Is it development, I call them technologies, they are part of our problems here. In the olden days, African society, everybody is everyone's keeper. You are my brother's keeper, my neighbors, we live very closely and then we monitor each other. Traditionally, you come together as a family under one umbrella. But these days, you understand, with the development of technologies, a lot of things are happening. And then the children are drifting away. The children these days from youthful age, actually before, this system of education used to be 7, 6, 3. And now, it has been changed 6, 4, 4 like that. Children you find that younger children from the beginning drift away from their parents. They move on. And this idea of that, in quotes, you have to go out there to school. Then our own time, we didn't have to go. All the knowledges that were passed to us by our parents and our teachers are the ones today taking care of us. And you cannot compare what obtained then to what is happening now. A lot of things have really gone way. It's not that the parents are failing, it's the technology and the developments, fast developments. So the children, I'm sorry to say that parents are not failing, but the new generation is having its own idea separately from what we had during our times. And we just pray that the olden days and the parents will come together and then have this idea changed.
Right, so
controlled.
Right, we understand that there seems to be a lot of, or there is a lot of economic difficulty now with some of the policies like the fuel subsidy removal. You've spoken to women. How are they coping, and how has it been for some of the women that you've had interactions with?
And honestly, it has not been easy. It's been difficult. That is to say, I know it and you know it too, but we pray that things will change and the government will look at the level of, especially those down there, middle class, even me. I retired 6 years ago, but if I tell you what I take home as a pension is not enough to write home. It's not even enough for me to maybe feed to maintain a house or to maintain my house or transport or anything. No, we have to look at it holistically, and the government will have to do something about it. It's not easy.
Right, so let's talk about that. Focus Africa, the Women Forum. Some persons have said women cooperatives could be the way to go to help women in Africa, women in Nigeria build capital. Some persons have talked about social intervention, what ideas do you have as to how to ameliorate or at least assist women? Do you think cooperative is a way to go? Should it be like a social intervention? Some persons have said, okay, once some women get to 60, they should be placed on some level of salaries, whether they worked for government or not. Right.
Exactly. I think that's where I'm coming to. These social cooperatives or social assistance do work in developed countries. Don't see any reason why it shouldn't work in Africa and Nigeria particularly. Like you said, I've put in my best. I worked for the government for 3 years before retirement at the rightful age of 60. But I must tell you, it's not easy. Not easy at all. There's no assistance, there's nothing, the recognition is even not there. Nobody appreciates, And then the government, I will suggest or advise that it's not that just because you have retired that you cannot be of any use. You can still be of important use. You understand, like you said, you could be engaged, understand, at the level of maybe coordinating the women as it affects my gender. The women out there that has not had the opportunity of them, you can coordinate with the government. We can work together to see how we can uplift them socially and then economically. The ones maybe in the rural areas, in your communities, so that they can be able to be self-sufficient. You can provide them with a lot of things and support. You can donate a lot of technicalities for them to, improve on the family line.
Right. Tell us about, is there a program that Focus Africa have for women who may want to join? What's the process?
Yes, the processes are that if you want to join, yes, it is a viable platform and forum, because internationally, we have bodies that are ready, like United Nations, a lot of women out there, women leaders, important women, I will say, that have contributed. Some of them have held offices, some of them are at the level of former first ladies, head of government. We work with them, we interact, and they are ready to, assist us so that the women out there can be empowered, so that they can have what it takes for them to move the country forward. Their families starting with at the grassroots.
So how do they get in touch?
We, like I said, we network.
No, I mean for those maybe.
Okay, those coming up. The program is there. We are all over the country. We are all over Nigeria, and we've been doing a lot of activities. And we have our own program coming up. The inauguration of our own Nigerian forum, which is coming up in June. It was supposed to be this May or March, but it has been postponed to June, July. The program is going on, and the fact that the government is interacting with us, so a lot of advocacy will be done, and every information will be transmitted.
All right. So as we try to wind down now, I'd like to ask: do you think education is the major tool that can be used to emancipate women?
Or poverty. Education is part of it, but empowerment is the main thing. Whether you are educated or not. Okay, what if you are educated and you don't have, you are not empowered? How do you operate? So I think empowerment is the in thing. Maybe apart from education, empowerment in areas, different areas. Technically you can do. We have these cottage industries. You can empower people. You can, and all you need, the empowerment needs a lot of support, whether technically, materially or financially. Financial is...
Right. We've seen people being empowered, and sometimes we even question some of the empowerments that are being done. People are empowered maybe with 100,000, 200,000, and you ask yourself, can that really be a springboard to take somebody out of poverty?
it could be a basic need, the money, but what you need technically is to provide them with tools. You understand? Maybe some of them are good at sewing, tailoring. Some of them are good at maybe production of, maybe soap making industries. Little things like that should be provided with the kids, the basic tools that they will need for them to take off, rather than the monies. Monies, yes, but what I feel is that they should be technically in their various areas of qualification or endeavor, they should be supported.
Right. So how do we capture these girls, these young ladies, these women that it seems they've been forgotten by the society? How do we get them back on track again?
We will do that. African Forum they're out there to do that. We'll get them, we'll communicate, like I said, we interact, we work together, we network, so that we'll be able to identify areas where, we have different peculiarities. What you need maybe in the north is not what we need in the south. So by networking, we'll be able to sort out those things among ourselves.
Okay, so you have women also from the south?
All over, from the south, from everywhere. We are operating already in more than 28 countries already are networking. So we'll be able to do that.
So I wouldn't have allowed you if I don't ask this question. What are your expectations for the future of women in Nigeria?
Expectation is that I should see a woman, in every sphere of life, she will be able to take care of herself, her family, and then she will be able to stand on her own, irrespective of maybe whether she's a widow, you understand, a married woman, or a young lady out there, those that even have the opportunity of going to school, they've graduated, at least they'll be able to stand by themselves, to work for themselves. We don't have to rely, everything should not be put on the government, let me see. We should be able to use our talents and our physics and our hands to be able to take care of ourselves.
Have Nigeria been fair to women? Have Nigeria been fair to women?
I've said that before. We've been relegated, but I just pray and I ask that somehow, someday, maybe during my lifetime, I want to see a girl child being a president of Nigeria, governor, any level she wants to be. I pray that it comes to pass.
So what is your advice now to maybe a young girl in a village in Yobe, in somewhere in Delta, that's listening to you and is thinking, how do I even get started? I don't have funds, I do not have support. What's there in life for me? What's your advice to such a person?
Such a person, they have their, like you said, from Delta, we are advising generally for the government. You understand, I still plead and still talk to the government to take, responsibility of sorting from the grassroots, from the level of the local government. They should be able to do something and then to encourage these ladies and to put them on records that they should be able to take care of them, and that a lot of things should be put in place, checks and balances, so that we know that at least from the grassroots, from the local government level, things like this are being tackled, and with African Forum, women will be able to work in tandem, and together we pray that these issues are taken care of.
So is there hope for such a girl?
Come again?
Is there hope for such a person who doesn't have an uncle, who doesn't have anybody?
No, there should be hope for everybody. You understand? That is the basics of our organization, to get there and then to uplift those children and to make them better in their areas or various, irrespective of where they come from.
So your message is hang on, hope is coming.
Inshallah, hope is coming.
Thank you so much, Adia Rabi Usman, Tedman, Executive Director, Contact and Mobilization, Focus Africa Women International Forum, for coming on the program. We wish you and your organization all of the best, and we hope to see, like you said, in your lifetime, maybe we'll have a woman who will be a governor of the state in Nigeria. I said governor, you said president. That's higher.
Inshallah.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so this is where we end this segment. We'll go for a short break and stay with us. We'll be right back.
Wake up with Global Morning, your daily guide to what's happening and making the rounds.
We delve into headlines, newspaper reviews, spot-on analysis, policies, current events, real talk, real issues that affect us all.
From the latest trends to the debate, every topic, every angle, Global Morning is where it all starts.
Global Morning,
For the latest issues,
always on point.
watch Global Morning Monday to Friday at 7 a.m., Saturday and Sunday at 8 a.m. on Global Television.
In an age of breaking news, you need a trusted source that prioritizes accurate, factual, and unbiased reporting. This is AM News, and I am Ubong Usoro.
On Global Television, our news is rooted in verified and authoritative storytelling that keeps you educated, informed, and enlightened on all the issues that matter to you. I am Sadia Yakubu. This is Midday News.
You can trust a multi-platform news broadcast real-time and fast-check stories for all the big local and foreign headlines round the clock. I am Ramsey Enoch Agbo. This is News Express.
Our array of anchors delivers the news to our teeming viewers, breaking it down with context and perspective. This is News Cycle on Global Television. I am Anieti Patrick.
And the flagship news is your hub for the day's most engaging stories. This is News Prime, and I am Jumai Manson.
Did you miss any of our news rounds? No worries. Catch up at 10 p.m. and midnight, 7 days of the week. I am Mukhtar Kasim.
Global TV is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. We're active across all social media platforms at Global TV NG.
Global TV News, accurate and unbiased. I'm Uyi Agmofwebe.
All right, welcome back from that short break. We've heard our guest. Coming up next is a breakfast show, Taste and Texture. Don't go nowhere. Stay back, relax, and watch. Have fun.
Hello everyone and welcome to Taste and Texture. Today we are going to be preparing boiled plantain and egg sauce. For the boiled plantain, we'll be needing the following: ripe fresh plantain, knife and clean pot, water. Here is the process of preparing boiled plantain. Wash and cut or dice your fresh ripe plantain into few pieces. In a clean pot, add your diced and washed ripe plantains. Add water, salt and cover to cook for a few minutes. Drop and drain the water, and then after a few minutes peel the boiled plantain and set aside. For the egg sauce, we will be needing a few fresh pieces of raw eggs. In a clean bowl, break your raw eggs and whisk. Get your clean frying pan and add oil to fry. Add your pepper, mix and stir for a few minutes. Then add Maggi and other seasoning of your choice. Then stir and add corned beef. Optional. Also stir your already whisked eggs and finally add parsley and stir it. Our boiled plantain and egg sauce is ready. And that's it on this episode of the show. I hope you will try this recipe at home. Join me again on Taste and Texture next time. I am Sadia Yakubu. See you again.
Our language, our vibrant culture and colorful tradition, our industrious and hospitable people. This is Nigeria, a nation that prides itself in abundant human and natural resources. From east to west, north to south, we sparkle, we shine, we have a common bond. Fellow Nigerians, let's do away with ethnic, religious and regional sentiments that divide us as a people. God has blessed us and empowered us to find strength in diversity. Let's make our faith and way of worship our source of unity as we build a nation that stays united. Nigeria, together today, together always. This is a public announcement brought to you by Global Television.
Well, good morning once again and welcome to Global Morning, Global Television. The place where stories come alive, ideas spark, and moments that matter take center stage. I am Sadia Yakubu. Once again, I'll be your host for the next few minutes. DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channels 276. You can also watch on YouTube using our Global TV NG. So, quick one on this segment of the program, we'll be talking about entrepreneurship, turning your business into a powerful identity. So first, let's get to understand the topic. Talking about entrepreneurship, turning your business into a powerful identity is about moving beyond just selling a product or service and creating a business that people recognize, trust, and connect with emotionally. What it means, entrepreneurship is the process of identifying opportunities, taking risk and building a business, but turning that business into a powerful identity means shaping how people see, feel, and remember your business. A business sells, a brand represents something. Why identity matters? A strong identity helps to build your business, stand out in a crowded market, build trust and credibility, attract loyal customers, create emotional connections, increase long-term value. All right, so without a clear identity, a business can easily be forgotten or replaced. Key elements of a powerful business identity are clear vision and purpose. Your business should answer, why do you exist? What problem are you solving? These give your brand direction and meaning. Strong values. Values guide how you operate and how customers perceive you. For example, honesty, innovation, quality, or affordability. Unique selling propositions. This is what makes your business different from others. It answers, why should customers choose you? Visual identity. This includes logo, colors, packaging, design style. These create instant recognition, brand voice, and message. How you communicate matters in business. Formal or casual, friendly or professional, consistency building, familiarity, and trust. Customer experience. Every interaction, online or offline, shapes your identity. A powerful brand delivers a consistent and positive experience. Role of the entrepreneur. So as an entrepreneur, you are often the face of the brand. Your personality, your behavior, leadership style can influence how people see your business, how you build a powerful identity. Define your target audience, understand your competitor, be consistent across all platforms, tell your story. People connect with story, deliver on your promises, adapt when necessary, but stay true to your core values. So I'll be joined via Zoom by Zainab Zakari, the Chief Executive Officer of Saka Gallery TV. Don't go nowhere as we bring her on.
Wake up with Global Morning, your daily guide to what's happening and making the rounds.
We delve into headlines, newspaper reviews, spot-on analysis, policies, current events, real talk, real issues that affect us all.
From the latest trends to the debate, every topic, every angle, Global Morning is where it all starts.
Global Morning,
For the latest issues,
always on point.
watch Global Morning Monday to Friday at 7 a.m., Saturday and Sunday at 8 a.m. on Global Television.
In an age of breaking news, you need a trusted source that prioritizes accurate, factual, and unbiased reporting. This is AM News, and I am Ubong Usoro.
On Global Television, our news is rooted in verified and authoritative storytelling that keeps you educated, informed, and enlightened on all the issues that matter to you. I am Sadia Yakubu. This is Midday News.
You can trust a multi-platform news broadcast real-time and fast-check stories for all the big local and foreign headlines round the clock. I am Ramsey Enoch Agbo. This is News Express.
Our array of anchors delivers the news to our teeming viewers, breaking it down with context and perspective. This is News Cycle on Global Television. I am Anieti Patrick.
And the flagship news is your hub for the day's most engaging stories. This is News Prime, and I am Jumai Manson.
Did you miss any of our news rounds? No worries. Catch up at 10 p.m. and midnight, 7 days of the week. I am Mukhtar Kasim.
Global TV is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. We're active across all social media platforms at Global TV NG.
Global TV News, accurate and unbiased. I'm Uyi Agmofwebe.
At Witchtech Cables, we don't just make cables, we deliver excellence. Our products are built with advanced technology, trusted for their unmatched quality and durability. With a wide range of cables, swift delivery, and continuous innovation, we stay ahead of the market demand. We are proudly Nigerian, fully indigenous, yet world-class. Backed by a professional team, strong technical support, and a deep commitment to customer satisfaction. Witchtech Cables is more than a brand, it's a promise. Witchtech Cables, quality cables better than the best.
So welcome back from that short break, and due to some reasons we couldn't link up with Zainab Zakari, who was supposed to speak to us today about business. But then I have together with me in the studio my ever supporting colleague Ubong Usoro, and we're going to talk about business together.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a topic that I'm quite very comfortable with, right? Talking about business, and I understand that if you look at the first 10 richest persons in the world, they're all entrepreneurs. They are people who create business and create businesses for people. And the richest person in Nigeria is a business person. Right? So there's a lot we can gain from as a people for doing business. Now, Nigerians have always been business people. If you look at history, we had the Granite Pyramid in the north. We had the cocoa plantations in the west, and we had the oil palm in the south, where I come from. And there are buildings where some of those are in the villages, in the village where we drive by. So they will show us buildings. This is a building of one time richest person in the States, right? And what was the person doing? He was an oil palm trader that buys from many villages and takes it from the south, comes to the north to sell. So people used to make a lot of money from business. It's just that a time came in Nigeria when we discovered crude oil, and a lot of persons now turned their attention to white-collar jobs. But before then, it wasn't white-collar. Nigerians were not dependent on white-collar jobs. Nigerians were dependent on agriculture, which forms 60%. And if you farm, you have to sell. So that's business, right? It's just that as society grows, now we have different, means. Now you have to talk about corporate branding, you have to talk about registration, you have to talk about having a website, having a social media manager, having an office space. Those are things that before it wasn't that prominent. But business has always been in the DNA of our people.
So how is brand identity different from brand image?
Right, brand identity is very important, and I'll talk about the two of them, and I'll talk about the differences. Brand image and brand identity. Brand identity this is what we know your brand with. For instance, there are various brands in the world today that if you call them McDonald's, you call them the Coca-Cola of this world, and different other brands, they already have an identity. You could, just with the name, people can identify products to those names, right? But the image is, what is your brand about? The image is quite larger. It could be real estate. It could be travel agency. It could be transportation. It could be, so the identity pictures. This is what this business is all about. So, but for instance, the business we do here, which is a business of communication, it's a big business. It's a big market. In fact, the other day I was looking at the market capitalization of communication in the communication industry. It's one of the biggest industries in the world. It's just that maybe in Nigeria we've not gotten to that extent, right? But it's a big industry. So you see that there are some brands that are already tied to, people know that once you mention this brand, this is what it stands for. And I think that is that should be, the ideal of every business person, that your brand is being now identified with a product. Today, and a lot of Nigerians make this mistake, there are some brands that, because they identify to products, so if you have another brand that does that same product, people will still identify that product with the other brand. For instance, there's something called noodles, right? Which we know, but some Nigerians still call noodles with the name of a company. I don't want to mention the company because the company is not paying us. But I call it, the company starts with I and N. We call it in whatever, right? They call around, right? And even if it's not that particular product, if not that company's product, people still call it to say, this is what I want to buy,
yeah.
instead of saying I want to buy more.
Yeah.
Because over time, they've constantly used that, terminology. This is this, this is this, this is this. So it has come to that extent. And not just that, there are other products that could come off the top of my head. Products like for mouthwash products, people will come to say, I want to buy this brand, and the brand is now identified with the product. Even seasoning cubes, the same thing too. Someone say, I want to buy seasoning cube. The last time I went to, get some, and I said, I need a pack of seasoning cube. The woman was looking at me. I said, seasoning cube. The woman was looking at me. The same thing that happened to me once too. I went to buy water. I said, please give me sachet water. They looked at me. I said, sachet water. I said, pure water.
Over time, Nigerians are already used to that name, pure water. We are not used to that name, sachet water. And talking about bottled water again, any other thing, water, we have. Now, let's talk about the online and most especially the online business. We have a lot of people, a lot of youths now using social media platforms for adverts. Even me, I do that. WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, and other social media outlets, right? Use it for adverts. We sell goods there. We get to post, and then people buy. Now we have a lot of scammers out there. Once you buy, I post, and you say, okay, you show interest, and then I will tell you pay first. When you pay, I'll just block you instantly. I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about those doing that habits. All right. So now, because of the scam issue online or constant scam complaints online, people tend not to buy goods online anymore, or it has dropped. Let me just use that language. It has dropped so much. That trust is no longer there.
Right.
Because of these scammers. Right. So how do you think we could handle such situations?
Yes, I'll talk about it from a place of personal experience first, before I even talk about what I think. Last year, I came online and on X, now Twitter, formerly called Twitter, now called X, and I saw somebody write that if you want to buy data, that he sells data for this amount or that amount. I think one of the options I saw was about 5,000 naira data, and I saw comments, a lot of comments on it. So I felt like, oh, okay, this could be real. So I chatted him. There's a number. I said, chat this number, and you could get this data for this. So I say, which of the plan do you want? I told him the plan. He sent me a company's account. Not even a personal account. You do the transfer here, then send the receipts to this number, then you get the data, what amount it was for 30 days. So I went ahead, transferred the money, sent him the receipt of the transfer, and only for me to see about 10 minutes I see, apologies, the plan is no longer available. That plan is no longer available. And I'm like, oh, okay, can you send back my money? Since the plan is not available. He now said, I'm sorry, the money is non-refundable. I said, so what do we do? He said, you have to send, the next plan was like 8,000. The one I did was for like 5,000. So you have to send 3,000, so I will upgrade you to the other plan.
You don't mean it.
I said, I just told him, I wasn't angry. I just said, okay, no problem. Just go with the money. I did not even shout. I just said, just go with the money. Because I thought about it, I'm like, is it that you are foolish? You've done 5,000. You are coming online to advertise that this plan is 5,000, do 5,000, get so gig, right, data, amount of data. I chatted with you. Oh, I want to.
You went through the legal process.
Please tell me the plan is not available.
It was when you were done.
It was when I've done the transfer. That was when you now realize that the plan, oh, sorry, apologies. I still remember how the message came, oh, sorry, apologies. That plan is no longer available. That you now knew the plan. I should now add money again, 3,000.
Then maybe when you add. So you see, that's where we have problems now. Now, some people, had he been into it, some persons, was at the time he said, add 3,000, you'd be like, okay, let me just add 3,000, what's there? You add the 3,000 naira, and then he'll tell you, oh, sorry, the plan is no longer available, please add 2,000. And that's how adding. I've heard about a case where a woman bought goods worth of millions from an online person. That's because she constantly posts goods online. So she bought them, and then she said, okay, please take you to the park. Once you were there, link me up with the driver. She said, all right. She got someone and said, all right, talk to her. And then they spoke and agreed on certain amounts for delivery fee from, I don't want to mention the states to here. All right, so the driver will call. The driver didn't call for the first day. The second day, she now called the driver again, the number that they gave to her. All right, for 3, 4, 5 days, she was just calling and no response. She now contacted the woman again, only for her to see that the woman has blocked her. Then she now tried her number. She tried calling her with another phone number. That was when she picked and was like, anyways, I don't have anything to say. Keep calling the driver. She said, okay, she's no longer interested again. Send her back. She just eased and ended the call. So now you see, because of these bad experiences, people no longer, a lot of people now don't trust online business anymore. They don't want to patronize you selling online because they feel, because of the past experience they've had, they might encounter the same thing again. So I think if as a business owner, you kind of create trust, be straightforward, be truthful, I think your brand will go a long way. You don't need to start scamming people. Now, buying online doesn't mean maybe I don't want to go to the market, but no, it's just me trying to support someone out there. All right, I can just walk down to the market and get something, but then I'll feel like, Ubong is selling this thing, or Ubong's friend is selling, or one of my friends on social media is selling this thing. Let me reach out to that person to buy. I'm supporting the brand. Now, once I buy those things and anybody sees me or see me using it, or they'll be like, where did you get this from? I'll say, it's from so brand. You see, that brand name is now traveling. But then a lot of people don't know about this. They feel scamming people through online business is the best. For me, it's not the best.
Right.
And I don't know if there is anything that Nigerian government is doing to regulate that or to stop that.
Right. I think the government has a department, that looks at cyber security, in the Nigerian police, and when you report those cases. But in most times, people just feel reluctant to even want to report those kind of cases.
Yes,
you could imagine me now. I was scammed of 5,000 naira, and now how much would I take? The other day, I made a mistake. I wanted to do transfer, and the last place I used to use, I think I told you that story. Yeah. I mistakenly transferred money. It wasn't a big amount of money. I just forgot about it because I thought about the stress. How much will it take going to that place to go and
complain them before they start the whole process, the whole stress before.
So you now go to the Nigerian police, maybe first CID. How much are you paying transfer to go and complain for how much? So when some person look at it and just leave it that way. But I think our online businesses have actually grown. I know persons who, from the comfort of their home, they are doing very well. Myself too, I do online business. I publish and all of that. And most of the persons that reach out to me are people I don't know them.
Exactly.
Right? Are people because I do something for a library. I did a job for a library, and people go to that library. So sometimes when they go there and they ask the librarian, how can we do this? And the librarian says, this is the person that did it for us. They get in touch, we finalize the deal.
So you see that you've built trust.
I don't even know them.
Confidence.
Right. So we finish the job, we greet each other, we've not seen each other before, and everybody goes their way. But you have to be able to, you know, because there's no like regulator to say everybody, so you can just chat up somebody and we do the business. So if you incur any loss, is at your own detriment. But you have to look at your brand, look at your, you know, your person, your personality. There are lots that is in stake, and I think sometimes these people do not think of that. They just go out there. Because for me, I don't think that guy has any plan. That those things were, you know, the way these scammers do it, is that they'll make it so true more, because that plan, in all fairness, that's why I wasn't even angry, because I just looked at myself and said, oh, so you wanted to be greedy. Because in all fairness, there's no way you get that plan for 5,000. Just like somebody saying for 5,000 you get 500 again.
Yes.
How will it happen?
So I don't know, and how can we build our business into powerful identity? How can we do that?
It needs a lot. One of the things it needs is what is called corporate structure. And a lot of businesses do not have that. You need to, the business needs to get to a point where if you are not there, you can't even run. And a lot of businesses in Nigeria still run at that one-man level. And if you are not there, your shop is not open. If you are not there, nobody attends. You are the customer service representative, you are the salesman, you are the manager, you are the storekeeper, you are everything. So it won't give it that identity. You need corporate governance. You need, you know, people on the board. You need to have a structure, right? Even your business money should not. You cannot just use your business money. You should even checkmate yourself. There should be, you know, procedures. You know, this is how much you can take out of this business in a month. This is how much you cannot. If you are not able to do that, you will, you know, open your business up for eventualities, because you will not even be able to know your profit. You know, there are sometimes you could make sales. For instance, you are doing sales business and you think that, oh, you really made profit, but you've not made profit because there's no ability to access what you've done. Maybe the sales, the things you sold were maybe, let's use for a shop for instance, you sold something of 200,000, you sold the other one 250,000, but the profits therein could just be 10,000 naira, and you feel you just see 500,000 in your hand, you feel that you made profit, and you could go ahead to use it. You don't know that what you are using, the profit is just 20,000. Yes, you have 500, but 20,000 is just your profit, and this 20,000, inside this 20,000, you still have to add it back to the business. So at the end of the day, what you could have could just be like 2,000 naira expendable income. So there should be a structure. Who is looking at your books? There's some persons run business year to year. There's no auditing. Did I do better in September? Even as individuals, we must be able to look at ourselves and say, if I finished university, have a first degree, can I get a PGD? Can I get a master's? Or I finished university 2 years now. Is there something I could do better? We have to constantly evaluate ourselves and never feel fulfilled. Oh, I finished university now, I'm a graduate, and so what? Right? And so are you the first graduate in Nigeria? Yeah. Oh, I have a PhD. It doesn't ring bell, right?
So what about what about those that stays outside the country and then they have business maybe in Nigeria?
Right.
What do you have to say about
Right. I've worked for that kind of company before. Before my last radio experience, I worked with owners who were outside the country, and you know it needs a great deal of trust, getting the right person, right? And getting the right person is, for me, I don't really think it's an Herculean task, because there are a lot of right persons. You need to reach out to family, friends, maybe church, maybe mosque, maybe circle, and you get the right person, right? So, and also you need to allow some level of independence for the person to make decision, but there should be a monitoring process, maybe a weekly report. But personally, I'm not a fan of micromanaging, because for me, I am a very thoughtful person, and I'm intentional about things. So just like now coming to the studio, you're telling me, okay, when you come, this is what you say first, this is what you not say, this is what you know, yeah, you will get issues. Sorry. So, but what I'm just trying to say is that if you are not around, you should have trusted somebody to an extent where the rules are clear. This is what you cannot take money out of a business. You cannot do this. You cannot do this. The rules are clear, but the person must be able to exercise some level of management, and you must trust the decision of the person. Not everything the person reached out to you, right? For me, I feel if that happens, there's maybe a complex problem, or just like now, I want to have a guest, I'll go and say, hey, please, which guests should I have tomorrow? These are the guests I want to, you need to have some level of freedom to operate within this thing. So, because if you are not around, I too have a business in a state I'm not there, right? And I have somebody who, does it. We have conversations. You have to have that level of trust. Dangote has businesses all over. It's not everywhere, So the structures must be there. And even if you say, oh, he has CCTV, you cannot watch all of CCTV every time, every day, right? So you have to have that corporate structure of assign responsibility. I'll get feedback from you. I'll ask the right questions, but go ahead and do it, right? So it's not easy, but we want to keep encouraging Nigerians who are outside. Please come and start businesses in Nigeria. There are lots of persons you could trust. And also, please, if you're outside doing business, I'm not really a fan of family business,
Family business is just not an option.
Because I remember somebody who is owing me, my cousin, for many years now. I cannot really get that money out of him. If it's another person, I know what I would have done.
To get your money back. But then you can't, because he's a family member.
You want to arrest your family member?
You can't do that. So there are levels.
The family will even ask you how much, because of how much they arrest your brother.
There are people out there that prefers bringing in other, let me use this word, outsiders to help them run or maintain their business. Definitely they will have insiders, like family members, but
supervisory roles.
Yes, but they won't be that much like outsiders. That's because of trust issue. Maybe the owner of the business will sit and think properly that if something goes wrong now, I can't, just like you said, now you can't arrest your family member. You can't embarrass your family member because of money. But if it's an outsider, you know what to do. The person would even know that, yes, he has wronged you. You can drag him to any length, any level to get your money back, your hard-earned money back. All right. So some people prefer bringing outsiders.
Absolutely. There's this very famous real estate guy. He said he is better finished investing and finished serving. Came to work with him. The first day he came to his office, he came late. They resumed by 8. He came by 9:30.
An hour 30
yes, and so at the close of work, he just said him, don't worry, go and do masters, I'll sponsor you. Because not just about him, it's going to affect the other staff.
Yes.
People will start saying, it's because it's his brother. And you cannot just sack your brother, you bring problem in the family. Yes. So it's better I recommend him for my friends, for let him go and work there. Absolutely.
And I think that's a very nice step that he took. Don't worry, go and do your master. I would sponsor it, leave the work for us. A lot of people take advantage of our family business. Right. If they know that, yes, this is a family business, they will want to ride and then the owner of those businesses won't be comfortable because it's a business where they earn. Right. Everyone out there is saying the business because you want to earn money, you want to make profit.
Right.
All right. So what at the end of the day, what are you gaining if you're bringing in too many family members? We are not saying don't bring family members. Bring in family members, but moderate them. Don't just let them be on a lower level. No, should I use?
No, you can do supervisory. You can be competent, but
then you bring in capable hands from outside to help you run the business. Reasons because once they misbehave, pardon me for using that language, you can drag them.
And
you can deal with them,
and they will also know that we have to be. Even as children, I remember those days that we saw some. I'm trying to use a Nigerian palace. Somebody says, "I don't see you finish." Some of our parents, they were people that we saw them, finish. Maybe like our mother, she would talk, say, "I'll beat you. I'll beat you back." He said, "Leave that place. I'll beat you." He said, "Mommy, I'll beat you back." He said, "Don't worry, let your father come." So when your father comes, your father cannot say, "I'll beat you," and you say, "I'll beat you back."
No, you dare not.
You dare not. You cannot even imagine it because the presence is there. So the same thing. When some persons get so comfortable, so laxity may come in, right? So you have to be able to set the standard and play by the rules.
All right. So something happened last month or thereabouts. There's this tailor. The woman brought in her son. So he was teaching this guy up to when the guy became professional in sewing both men and female clothing. So he was planning to travel. He told his boss that I'll be traveling so day, which is normal. And the man agreed. Right, the man deals with, he sells materials as well as you're buying. You don't need to go look for a tailor elsewhere. He's there, he would sew. So, unknowing to the owner of the business, this guy had already packed many materials, costly materials, expensive materials, and then hid them inside his bag. Then his boss was planning on giving him money. All right. So something happened. The man now checked the guy's bag and then saw the expensive materials that this boy hid inside his bag, planning to travel with them, probably sell them at a very cheaper rate. And then he called this guy, "What is it that I have done to you that you can't forgive me?" Like emotional talks. You could see the pain. Now he made one statement. He said, "I trusted you and I left my business for you to handle." This is a guy that whatever he does, whatever he says, stands if that man is absent. So you could see, as much as you have good hands, you trust some people. Some people will always give you reasons not to trust anybody. And you, let's say now you as for example, you trust me so much and then I betray you. That's the sabotage. You
really had to use that word.
Yes, I really had to use that word, sabotage. All right. You see, you would find it difficult to trust any other person. Right. And then if a brand doesn't trust, if the owner of a brand or someone running that brand, you don't trust that person. For me, that brand is going nowhere. It will just remain there, and then finally it will die natural death. Absolutely.
I think the personality of the person who runs the brand is very important. That's why you see, even in governments, in developed countries, we've seen it also in Nigeria. When some persons have some allegations, they are not even proven by a court of competent jurisdiction. It's just an allegation that this person did this, and those things are not yet substantiated. You see, brands will come out and distance themselves from the person, even if the person was like the founder of the brand. In corporate brands, we've seen. Of recent, there's this guy. He founded, he's involved in PayPal, right? A Nigerian movie or something that got into some trouble online. There were allegations of some of his past tweets. They brought it out. The brand came, he's a co-founder of that brand. They came out to say, for now, we've dissociated ourselves from you until these allegations have come to showing you that the brand understands that if you are with us, your integrity, you can rub off our business. If you have somebody who is well known, a notorious scammer, right, as somebody who is the head of your business unit, it affects the brand picture. You say, who are your staff? I come to see your staff are people who I know very well are involved in stealing, right? As your staff members, you took thieves to be your staff. What do you expect from that kind of business? And that's why sometimes it's also good that we do some checks. I know Nigeria, you cannot really check. People will just come and apply. But there should be some background check. Where have you worked? You reach out the way you worked before. You're just like if you
to be sure of who you're bringing in.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the person should have guarantor. If you cannot keep to the terms of this business, somebody should speak for the person. So I think those are some of the tools you can use, especially for businesses that have to deal with money. Right. Obviously, I heard a story. Let me just share this now. That restaurant where if the bill is 2,000, this person will put 500 on top.
2,500.
Right. Will put 2,500. So at the end of the day, he makes over maybe 40,000. Yes, now. So if for every is at the counter is the one. If your bill is 2,000, you put 200. Depending, he looks at the people, he rates people.
Imagine.
He rates people. You just know, okay, your bill is 3,000. You put 1,000 on top. He knows you will not even check. You say, oh, how much is your bill? For 3,000. You do the transfer. He's the one that will get the extra 1,000. The extra 1,000. That's what he does. So somebody was telling me that the owner of the company, owner of the business got to know about it and sacked him. But before they sacked him, he has bought a car, he has built a house. Yes, because if you are making let's say you are making 40,000
every day,
that's not your salary. Your salary is there. And if you see him, you cannot even imagine that he doesn't dress it, he doesn't look it, he doesn't look like a thief.
That's another scammer. That's why it's advisable if you go out to buy things, either in the market or supermarkets, you check prices for each and everything you're buying. To avoid the stories that touches the hearts. Like this one now, you're charging 2,500 for something of 2,000. Some of them might even go as far as charging maybe 3,000 for what is maybe a 2,000 naira, making 1,000 on it. Now they are damaging the name of that brand. So you as a buyer, take your time when they are operating on their machine. You just look at the prices attached to everything. I know definitely they'll come up with VAT and other stuff, That's where you get to understand how much am I paying. You go through, let them give you a printout and you go through, check the prices for everything you've purchased. I think with that we can help stop this form of scamming. Right.
Right, absolutely. It affects the trust that you now have, and even other persons also may, are wanting to come tomorrow to the business may start thinking, is this what it is? Is this not what it is? So it's not good. We need to be able to, and these are human beings. It's not just in Nigeria. No. It's across the whole world.
It's across the whole world.
Right. So as a business person, you too, just don't scam people. Right? Somebody was saying the other day, if you are a governor and your commissioners know that you are scamming people of their resources, like the state's resources that come, a contract of 5 million, you inflate the contract, put 7 million, you take 1 million kickback, give contractor 1 million, right? And tomorrow you say, Commissioner, I'll go and do this. They will learn it from you now.
And if they want to do it, they will also add theirs to it. So what are we saying here? For you to build a successful business or powerful identity for your business, you'd have to be trustworthy. You have to present, should I say, good business. Right. You have to set structures, put everything in place so that you won't be cheated, and your customers also won't be cheated. Right. Your staff will not cheat you, and everybody goes home happily at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
So if you're planning on if you're planning on starting a business or you're already in a business, please help buy or build a brand name for your business, for yourself, a brand identity. All right, whatever you're doing, be transparent in whatever you're doing. So long as business, not even in business, wherever you find yourself, ensure that transparency, accountability, the trust, and then